Are you able to turn on a dime? If not, you might want to watch this. So turning on a dime, can you do it to the right and to the left? Can you turn really fast to the right, really fast to the left? My sneakers are sticking on the rubber floor here, so it's hard to spin. But if I was in socks on a solid floor, I could spin in a circle, turn on a dime, not lose my balance. That's the important part. So if you can't do that, if you can't do it, and don't try it if you think you're going to fall down. I don't want anyone getting hurt here. Have somebody hold on to you, have somebody stand really close to you, be between a counter and a tall chair, something that'll keep you safe, you won't fall. But can you turn to the left? Can you turn to the right on a dime without losing your balance? That's key. So if that's the case, or maybe you want to make sure you can do that no matter how many years you're on this planet, and you want to make sure that you're training your body correctly so you don't lose any ability to rotate well to both sides, I'm going to show you a couple of things that just might help. You may or may not be aware of this, but your abdominals, the front of the body, really enjoys rotation. That's what really gets its knickers going. It just likes rotating. And if you look at the muscles, if you like to look at anatomy, you'll see the fibers of the muscles are mostly diagonal. You've got your internal and externals, you've got your the rectus abdominis is straight up and down, but you've got your transversus abdominis, you've got all of these diagonal angles of muscle fiber, which means when you rotate, they really get turned on. And when you get those muscles engaged in your movement, that's when magic stuff happens. So a lot of people don't really train to engage those muscles. They're doing a lot of laying down on the floor or the ground, crunches and sit-ups and leg lifts, or they'll be in one of those holders in the gym. I don't even know what the name of it is, but when you're up there and you're holding on and you're up off the ground and you're bringing your legs up, yes, those will work your abdominals. They will work the front of the body, but they work it in a way that only goes from neutral to short. You're not going past neutral with any of those movements unless you're lying down on a big therapy ball, and now you can go into extension before you go back up into flexion. Now you're going past neutral. So why would that matter? Well, as people get older, they tend to lose the ability to go into extension from the front of their body. And so now they're like this. They're just that little bit forward, or maybe just this much, that little bit forward. And if they go to stand up nice and straight and get to neutral, they're challenged. And if they try to go past neutral, now they end up falling backward or losing their balance or having to grab something to prevent from falling. So if the front of the body is that important that we have to be able to, or have the ability to, bend backwards with a lot of control, and it loves getting switched on by rotation, wouldn't it make sense that we do a little bit of backward and rotating to train it? Now, depending on where your current ability lies at the moment, you may or may not be able to do some of these movements. I'm going to give lots of modifications, but these are things that are a good idea to make sure the front of your body can do. One of them is bending backward and turning at the same time. So what might make that a little bit easier is if you pretend you're standing in a doorway and I'm going to reach my right hand and I want to tap the inside corner of the doorway. So I'm rotated and I'm bent backward in order to reach up over my head. Now you could maybe even just have a wall behind you and just do that. So get some of this out of the way. So say I just have a wall behind me, and you'll have to determine how far in front of the wall you want to be. But if I reach up and back and I tap the wall, and if I really want that to be harder, I'll step forward, and now I'm really bending back more, I'm really rotating more, and I'm getting that nice rotational load on my anterior chain, or the front of my body, or my abdominals, which of course the front of your body is from the nose to your toes. It's not just your abdominals. Everything's connected. My foot, ankle, calf complex is working as I do this. My hips, my pelvis, my spine, my shoulder complex, everything's working as I do this movement. But we want to make sure that we're sort of spending more time in certain areas when we do these movements. So this is to make sure that we don't lose the ability to turn and bend backward and be upright and still be able to stay stable. So, and of course we would do this on the other side. So, and I can even move forward. I really want to kind of challenge myself here. So now I'm really going backward, and I'm really reaching, and I'm rotating left. So that's one. Now you can also do it, and that's with your hands. You're kind of loading from above down into the body. How about loading from below up into the body? So that would require you to do a little bit of stepping. And you're still going to reach up, and we still want to rotate. So if I step forward with this leg and I lean backward, I'm now loading the front of my body, and I'm focusing a little bit more on this leg here, but we're getting that load is happening from below, coming up into the body. And then if we really want to add the arms, we can get those right up overhead. And if we want to get that rotation that I was talking about, I can just turn. So say instead of stepping forward with my right foot, say I step at an angle, like a 45-degree angle. So now I'm turning as I do that, and that's going to give me that beautiful rotation and extension and really load the body. And if you want to make this even harder, you can hold a weight. So say, I'm looking for a smaller weight here, because I wouldn't want you to try something really big. This is 3 pounds. You could do 5 pounds. Depends on your strength, of course. If you're big and muscular, you might want to go with more weight. But I would recommend no weight until you get used to the movement. But if I do this, I'm getting a beautiful load into the front of that body. I'm really switching those abdominals on because they're at a diagonal, and that rotation is helping immensely. Now, say you can't rotate at all, or say your rotation is really limited. You want to make sure you get rotation back. So there are some things you can do. If you want to rotate with your feet moving, you can just turn in and turn out. Now here you want to be careful, because your knee, depending on the health of your knee, you want to be very, very careful if it's okay with weight bearing. When I come in like this, I'm putting my weight on that foot that's coming forward. I have very little weight. I can actually almost pick that foot right up. So there's very little weight in that back leg, so that knee is not taking any stress at all. You can see I'm leaning into this leg, and this leg is really not doing much work at all. But that hip is really rotating. And that's turning in, and then what about turning out? Same thing. Again, I'm putting the weight here, and you can see this foot can almost pick right up. So the goal here is to really get that nice rotation. And if we want to add even more rotation, we can have the arms out and really go for some rotation. And I can't put them straight out because of my little room divider here. But that would be the goal, to get that beautiful rotation. That would be in the hips, and if you're adding the arms, you're getting a lot more rotation in the trunk. But do just a simple test. How far can you rotate left? See how far you can see with your eyes. How far can you rotate right? See how far you can see with your eyes. And if there's a difference, if there's an asymmetry, if one side is better than the other, doing a little work to reset that might be a good idea. Because you do want to be able to turn on a dime in both directions. You don't want either way you have to turn to make you unstable. Okay, I hope that this has helped. If it has, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, so you get contacted, or you get an announcement or some kind of a warning that the next video has been released. And I look forward to hearing your comments below. We'll see you next time.